Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to unpack fascinating topics and, well, really pull out the key insights for you.
That's right.
And today we're diving into something I find truly captivating. The whole world of what-if scenarios.
Why?
We're sort of stepping into the past that never was,
Yeah.
exploring paths not taken, and maybe understanding the ripple effects of choices that went differently. Okay, let's unpack this.
And we're going to tackle this using a really practical and actually quite insightful linguistic tool,
Wait.
the third conditional.
Right.
Getting a handle on this structure isn't, just about ticking a grammar box. It's about gaining this powerful lens to analyze the impact of past decisions or maybe events. That didn't happen.
Okay, so to really bring this to life, we've gathered a whole set of scenarios today. They're all centered around this character named Robert. His hypothetical life and career choices are going to be our guide here. So our mission really is to pull out the most valuable bits about this grammar structure and the clarity it actually offers on cause and effect, maybe even in our own lives.
Exactly.
So let's start with the core idea. The third conditional, fundamentally, it's our way of talking about situations in the past, things that didn't occur.
Right. Unreal past situations.
And then imagining what their results would have been. It's like constructing, an alternate history.
Precisely. And the structure itself is actually quite neat. You start with if, then you use the past perfect tense,
Okay.
and then the result clause uses would have, or could have, or might have, plus the past participle form of the verb.
Got it.
So, for instance, one of our sources gives us this. If Robert had studied linguistics, he would have become a university professor.
Okay, makes sense.
See, if Robert had studied linguistics, that's the hypothetical past bit, the condition, and he would have become a university professor. That's the imagined outcome.
Now, this next point. Here's where it gets really interesting, I think. And it's a place where, honestly, a lot of people slip up,
Oh, yeah.
myself included sometimes. The common mistake is sticking would right after if, saying something like, if I would have known.
Yes. Very common.
But that's actually incorrect, isn't it? The rule is always if I had.
That's the golden rule. Always if plus the past perfect, so had plus the past participle, no would in the if clause.
Okay.
And building on that, another key thing. For that if clause, you consistently use had for all subjects. It doesn't change.
Right, so no weird variations like had been or trying to match it differently, just had.
Just had. Simple as that.
Okay, great. So with those ground rules clear, let's bring Robert back into the picture.
Let's do it.
Because as we explore his hypothetical life, what really jumps out is just how much things can hinge on seemingly small decisions or, external events, how they shape a totally different path.
Absolutely. Let's
Okay.
look at his career and teaching stuff first.
Okay.
Think about this one. If the school hadn't hired him in 2010, he would have moved to Canada.
Wow, just like that. A whole international move based on one job offer falling through.
Exactly. It's pretty amazing how one single event, like getting that job, can be the pivot point for an entirely different life story. Really highlights those sort of delicate turning points.
And it's not just about Robert's own life, is it? These what-ifs show how interconnected things are. Like, if his students had practiced more, they would have passed the exam easily.
That shows the direct ripple effect, right?
Hmm.
Collective action, or maybe inaction in this case, impacting outcomes for a whole group.
Yeah. And what about missed opportunities for, like, a bigger impact? If Robert had published his teaching method earlier, it might have helped more students.
Right. That speaks to the power of, timely innovation, getting your ideas out there.
And then there's this surprising career shift. If Robert had specialized in phonetics, he might have worked for Hollywood.
That one's fascinating. It shows how sometimes just a slight change in focus, a different specialization within your field could open up completely different, maybe unexpected professional worlds.
From teaching to Tinseltown? That's quite a jump. But it also makes you think how outside factors can, boost or limit our choices.
Totally. And the power of new platforms is huge there. Look at this. If he hadn't created his YouTube channel, his methods wouldn't have become popular.
Ah, good point.
That single decision, embracing a new way to share his work, completely changed his reach. But then, the flip side. If the school had given him more resources, he could have designed better courses.
Right. That shows how crucial basic support can be. It can either unlock potential or really stifle it.
Couldn't agree more.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Let's look at some of Robert's higher stakes what-ifs, the professional and financial ones. These are the kinds of things that often spark our own daydreams, I think.
Oh, definitely. The big what could have been scenarios. And yeah, sometimes it is about the big money. Like, if he had invested in that language app, he would have earned millions.
The classic. We all have one of those, maybe smaller scale, but still.
Right. But it's not always about millions. Sometimes these hypotheticals sketch out entire chapters of life that were just missed. Imagine this. If he had accepted that job in London, he would have lived abroad for 5 years.
That's huge. One career choice dictating 5 years overseas. Think of all the experiences, the growth, just gone in that alternate timeline.
Exactly. A completely different personal story.
And then there are those missed connections, those almost moments. If Robert had attended the conference, he would have met famous linguists. Networking opportunities lost.
Or the ultimate dream scenario for many. If his book had been a bestseller, he would have retired early.
Ah, the early retirement fantasy. These are just such tantalizing alternate realities, aren't they?
They really are. And we also see how hindsight gives such clarity on financial moves. If he had bought that apartment in 2015, its value would have doubled. Ouch.
Ouch is right.
But what's also compelling here is the pull of, say, family advice. If Robert had followed his father's advice, he would have been a lawyer.
That's a big one, too. It really makes you question, doesn't it? How much are our lives shaped by that kind of external advice versus, our own gut feeling or passion?
A constant tension for many people, I think.
Definitely. Okay, so from those big career and money choices, let's get a bit more personal now. Let's delve into Robert's past mistakes and maybe more intimate what-ifs.
Right, and this section really highlights how sometimes seemingly small things, oversights, personal choices, can have these, disproportionately huge impacts.
Like,
if Robert had married his college sweetheart, he would have had children by now.
That's
a fundamental life path divergence affecting a whole potential family.
Wow. Yeah, that's profound.
Or on a different note, if he had learned Mandarin, he would have taught in China. Shows how a specific skill, like language, could unlock an entirely different cultural and professional world.
It's amazing. And sometimes it's just simple memory. If he had remembered the meeting, his boss wouldn't have fired him.
Right. A single memory lapse potentially derailing a career.
Or just checking the basics. If Robert had checked the equipment, the online class wouldn't have failed. These are such stark reminders of how much the small details can matter. They're foundational, really.
And we also see the price of not listening, maybe.
Yeah.
If he hadn't ignored the warning, he wouldn't have lost that important contract. Then there's the whole ethical ripple effect. Choices impacting others, like his students. If the students hadn't cheated, Robert wouldn't have canceled the test.
Right. So his reaction was caused by their action. These hypotheticals really show that chain reaction of accountability, don't they?
Very clear.
Okay, shifting again slightly. Let's talk travel and also how bigger, global events can sideswipe individual lives. These examples really make you stop and think.
They really do. If he had stayed in Japan, his Japanese would have been fluent. That shows that direct link, doesn't it? Immersion leads to mastery.
Yeah.
Simple cause and effect.
Yeah, makes sense.
But then there's this. If the pandemic hadn't happened, he would have visited 10 more countries.
Ugh. That one hits home for a lot of us, I imagine.
Exactly. It just perfectly shows how these massive external events, things totally outside our personal control, can just dramatically change our plans, limit our experiences.
It really underscores how fragile even well-laid plans can be. And then there are the what-ifs about specific improvements, like if Robert had participated in that exchange program, his accent would have improved.
Right, highlighting specific paths to getting better at something.
And technology. What about this one? If technology had existed in his youth, Robert would have taught online since 1990.
Imagine that. A complete quantum leap in how he could have reached students decades earlier.
Mind-boggling, really.
It's scenarios like these that also kind of bring it back to the listener, to you. They really drive home the value of things like consistency or taking good advice when you get it.
How so?
Well, think about it. If you had listened to Robert, you would have mastered English by now. It sort of puts the responsibility on the learner, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little direct, maybe.
Maybe. But it also highlights the importance of clear communication and support from the other side. If Robert had known about your struggle, he would have helped you.
Okay, that's fair.
And for anyone feeling stuck, if his advice had been clearer, I wouldn't have made these mistakes. It's about looking back at the mentorship process itself.
That makes sense. And looking at it from a team perspective. If we had hired Robert earlier, our team would have been more confident. Shows how one key person can really lift a whole group.
Definitely. Now, before we wrap things up, it's probably worth just quickly mentioning a special case, kind of a variation within this conditional family. Our source material touches on it briefly. It's often called the mixed conditional.
Ah, right. There was that example. If his visa had been approved, he would be living in New Zealand now.
That's the one.
Yeah.
And the difference, the nuance here is really important. It describes a past hypothetical condition, the visa approval that didn't happen.
Right. If his visa had been approved, past perfect.
Exactly. But the result isn't in the past. It's a present hypothetical result. He would be living in New Zealand now.
Ah, I see. So past cause, present hypothetical effect.
Precisely. And if you connect that to the bigger picture, it just shows how past events, even the ones that didn't happen, can cast these long shadows, shaping our present reality, or at least our hypothetical present.
Wow. Okay, this whole deep dive into the third conditional, especially seeing it through Robert's, well, his many possible lives, it really makes its power clear. It's a tool, isn't it, for understanding cause and effect in the past. It feels like more than just grammar. It's a way to reflect on all those different paths life could have taken, the doors that opened, the ones that stayed shut. Helps analyze the forces that shaped our own stories.
It really does. It allows us to get some pretty profound clarity from looking back, from hindsight.
Yeah.
Which brings up an important question, I think, for you listening.
Okay.
How does really understanding these what-ifs, these past possibilities, how does that empower you to make maybe more informed choices today, even knowing you can't actually change what's done?
That's a great question.
It's about learning from those paths not taken, perhaps.
Yeah.
Gaining something from those unseen histories.
Definitely food for thought. Maybe take a moment, think about your own what-if moments. What insights might they reveal about the choices you're making now moving forward?
Robert English Coach.